Well, this first story comes from one that we covered last week with the abduction of 2-year-old baby Umar Ali. He has been found, actually was found on Monday by the hunters and rescuers, the hunters search and rescue team in a forested area of Bankar Trace coal mine near to where the accused relative whom is said to have abducted him, lives. Now, the update that we've gotten up until this morning, actually, is that he was in fine health because he was being medically examined at the Sangarandi Hospital, and just minor bruises and suffering from some insect bites. But he has been found, and he seems to be in a safe, healthy condition. And all we can say is thank God.
Yes, because the situation, we did not know the circumstances, why is this person doing what he did, abducting little boy for the second time? What relation does he has that he sees that this is a necessity? And even how they were found. They were found just in a forest area, under cover, in a hammock. What was the long-term plans? Because it seems as though the gentleman who carried out the abduction, I'm not confident that he knew what he was doing. Okay, so step 1, take the child. Step 2, just be in the woods with a 2-year-old, and then what? And fortunately, because I feel as though he might have been either not thinking things through, we don't know, maybe he's deranged, or we don't know. So fortunately, the circumstances did not reach a point where the young boy was injured in any way. I think we kind of, we take it for granted. Well, he's not some vicious monster that's going to hurt the boy. But when he's being irresponsible, like so potentially irresponsible, you could cause unintentional harm to the victim. With a 2-year-old, that could be catastrophic. So very much thankful that this was able to come to a close as quickly as it did, and hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing comes to surprise us later on.
Well, actually, thank God that he was found safe and well. The story still seems extremely odd and peculiar to me. Obviously, police investigations hopefully will answer all the questions that we're asking. Kudos to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, as well as to the Hunters Search and Rescue Team, who have been doing a lot throughout Trinidad and Tobago to help, especially when individuals have been abducted or kidnapped. But again, credit to all those who were involved in actually finding a 2-year-old Umar. My concern now is, what are the measures that are being put in place to prevent this from happening a third time? Because even though this individual ran off, the accused relative, the issue now is he was previously held in police custody.
Yes.
According to the mother. He was released. He was later released. She wants to know why was he released after a report was made. I could only assume that police investigations and inquiries led to no sufficient evidence, because even if that report was made, it's whether or not the mother wanted to testify. That's a different step. So what is now going to be done? Is this where the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service end their investigation, or are they actually going to go after trying to find the accused relative and arrest them and keep them in custody with charges to be brought against him? That is my biggest concern now, the safety of baby Umar. In fact, one question I would ask is whether or not it is safe for baby Umar to even stay with his 18-year-old mother at this particular location.
That is probably the next critical question, because, again, we don't know what the relations is or what his motivation was. So if he's a little off the rails by the second time, he might get more desperate on the third attempt and potentially do riskier or more reckless things with regards to a third abduction. With regards to the police, if it's a case where, because again, we don't know what the relationship is, so as a domestic matter, if family members are not willing to provide evidence and whatever the process is, I'm not too sure if we press charges here like in the States, but if family members aren't willing to go through with it, I could very well see a situation where the legal system can only do so much. And they don't necessarily have the capacity to infringe upon the accused's rights no matter how we feel about the situation,
I don't think
right?
I don't think
Without evidence. That's the thing.
But
You need to have
remember,
something to back it up.
a crime has been committed. How much now involvement
Well, that
of
is
the
true.
relative is needed
That is
by
true.
the legal system?
That is true.
An individual was abducted, a 2-year-old, right? Usually, kidnapping
Well,
is...
no. The thing is, though, wouldn't it be based on the only evidence we have on the individual, because he was not found on the scene with baby Umar. So it's the mother's word. That's it. That's all we have. So if she's not willing to testify, technically they have nothing to link him to this abduction.
Well, this is where police investigation will be conducted, because one of the bigger clues is the fact that, one, Adiba witnessed, not only the mother, but the sister witnessed the child being abducted from the house.
Right, okay.
Now, at that point in time, the mother, again, very peculiar, very odd, not even a fight for your child. And you would assume that motherly instincts takes you into that mode. She just watched your relative walk up. Don't get me wrong. I know in this situation, the circumstances that we're living
It's
in
difficult,
now,
yeah.
it's difficult.
Not every woman is going to be a fighter.
I'm not trying to, in any way overshadow the fact that we're living in dangerous times. But at the same time, you're actually watching your son being taken away and not necessarily reacting to it. Furthermore, that's one key part of it too. He was found in a forested area not too far from where the relative lives. That's another thing to investigate. 3, it's a 2-year-old. I don't think the 2-year-old will be able to say that much, or even the traumatic or psychological part of it, whether or not he could if he would play any part in this investigation. The main fact is a police investigation needs to be carried out, and what is now being done to ensure that this is prevented from a third time happening.
This will show, to some degree, how well the system works, because this is clear-cut in some ways, not so clear in others, so it will reveal certain things. And my last point on this is that with regards to baby Umar and what he experienced and what he will remember from this, is 2, hopefully it's not going to affect him long term. But you never know. You never know. Something small could have a snowball effect on an individual's psyche, and hopefully he's at a point in time in his development where he's going to just not really realize what happened to him.
Sad story about it is as well, Sean, is that whether or not his 18-year-old mother, just being realistic and practical, is capable and mature enough to actually look after him.
Well, she also potentially needs to go through some therapy, just because at 18, having to deal with, okay, I'm a mother at 18, what does that mean? Oh, now I have to deal with a situation where somebody's abducting my child. That could have an effect on her as well, and her capacity to continue to parent. As one movie quoted, we're all living life for the first time. But it's a lot harder when you're that young trying to deal with multiple serious situations.